So, recap. And now, where we left off. After surviving the mysterious woodlands in the north of Haverlock Forest, you all had managed to make it back to civilization, reaching the river town of Vanier. After finding Waynon and his group, you finally had the chance to complete your task on returning him safely to his father, which is a guildman named Foreign. This meeting had taken place in the Lucky Stump, as where Gundren had mentioned he would be meeting you. Upon receiving your promise payment, Waynon had made mention of the new promise payment that was due on top of the original agreement, as you've all agreed to save his friend Trina. Foreign had insisted on waiting a couple of days more because at that moment he was only expecting to pay a certain amount to you guys. So he had mentioned that he'd come back in a few days' time, if not, possibly a week, with the remaining funds that Waynon had promised. While May was there collecting with Foreign, Theo, Hellscream, and Voxy. Though Voxy, you're attached to Hellscream in a backpack manner. You were outside of the Lucky Stump when everyone's attention was caught by a contraption that was presented in a merchant square, basically where this whole area, this area that you're located in with the Lucky Stump is the merchant district. It was then when you noticed the screaming and the distress of the town folks as they were running around frantically. Upon Theo and Hellscream rushing to see what was the commotion, you were met with several large, vicious creatures that resemble that of a lion with a humanoid face, brandishing large bat-like wings and a tail with spikes. It was then when you met a younger man that seemed daresome enough to chase one of these creatures. It was somewhere around that time when May and Mechanicus had joined, going outside of the encounter, and right before slaying one of the creatures, a dark, mysterious figure floating above the chaos appeared, as the figure seemed to be playing some sort of pipe flute, and seemed to be in league with these monsters. As he let off a telekinetic wave of energy repelling Theo and Mechanicus and some poor guards as well that managed to had snuffed the life of said guard. They managed to escape as one of the monsters that was slain. The other one that seemed to be in bad shape managed to escape with this mysterious flutist. And we left off basically coming back into the Lucky Stump after everything had calmed down, as you see many of the town guards, constables coming in, trying to figure out exactly what had happened and getting their side of the stories from any pedestrians or anyone that was pretty much around when it happened. You all went to retreat into Lucky Stump, and you all laid for rest. And this is where we picked off for the next day after your rest. So the day is yours, as you now know that you'll be staying in town for quite some time. This is the first time that you've managed to perhaps get a fresh breath of air and not worry about the elements that you guys just came from in the wilderness, especially from this seemingly enchanted forest that you had come from. This is a good change. What do y'all decide to do?
I'm gonna go downstairs and see where everyone's at, and if everyone's together, I'm going to divvy up the share that Thorin had given us before he left for finding his son Waynon.
So, so you can go down and see if perhaps Foreign had come back.
No, Theo and Hellscream and Mechanicus. I never
Gotcha.
divvied the money up yet.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, you do have, and he gave it to you in a manner of platinum.
Yes.
But as you look inside the bag that he presented to you, there is not just platinum. There is also what looks like rolls of bills as well. These bills, as you look upon them, they are the manner of the marks. Basically, the marks is the currency equivalent to gold, but you can see that they're rolled up like in a manner of like how dollars are created. As these are commonly known as the new normal that has been pretty much springing up throughout the kingdoms, this new form of currency. So you do notice that there is some of that in there as well. Let's say you did have the chance to count through everything that's in there, actually, like overnight.
Okay.
Instead of what we had mentioned last session, not 1,000 gold. We could say there is half that. I mean, not gold, platinum. Half that in platinum. Did I say, how much did he give you again? He gave you 100 platinum, sorry, right?
Yes, 100.
So let's say there is 50 platinum in that bag, and the rest are in 500 gold's worth in marks. These paper bills. And for that, you can use if you look in your character sheet, guys, you can use the Ethereum currency, the EP one, for marks. Because we don't have Ethereum in this campaign, so you guys can use that to just make sure you keep track of it, essentially. It is the same worth as gold, but is it just a different currency? So 1 mark equals 1 gold. 10 marks equals 1 platinum. Same thing. As the rest of you guys, I know May had mentioned she's going down. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Theo and Hellscream. Did you guys share? I can't remember.
No, I think we shared our own room.
You did? Okay.
I thought we did.
I ended up in the room with Mechanicus because he left his door open.
Right. Okay.
And I think
I can imagine May just coming in there while Mechanicus passed out, and she just grabbed a blanket and just threw it over him to avoid looking at balls.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Omen, I think, got his own room, right?
Yes.
I think he did, yeah. So this is the next day, right?
Yep.
I'm waiting for you guys downstairs from the Lucky Stump in the eating area, in the dining room area.
I would have led out after doing my Sinua routine. Go out to just get, freshen up, get some, wake up and meet up with the common area,
Okay.
and wait for
You just waited
for
for like the rest of the group,
yeah.
essentially. Okay, so yeah, you head down. May is probably already there waiting. Hellscream, you were in the same room with Theo. Not sure if your intentions are going to the inn common place as well.
Yeah, as long as I
Oh,
get my monies.
all right. As you look at Voxy, of course, on the ground, like on the side, kind of just like leaning with like that contraption bag that was kind of put together amongst you guys for you to carry.
Top of the
Yes.
morning to you.
Let's pick me
Right.
up.
Yeah, I'm assuming you pick up Voxy and go down, or you just leave her there. You've been like her protector for like the past couple of days at this point, because like she's not that she's not like that she's vulnerable, but she's just not capable yet.
Plus, I probably told him to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, fair enough. So she's not built yet, obviously.
No, that is, I believe that is in the future's task.
As we had gone out of the room, Theo did kind of point at you to get her and bring her as he was walking out.
All right. So
Done.
at this point, everybody comes down. You are met with a this savory smell of bacon and eggs as you do manage to make yourself down. As you can see, a couple of the other patrons as well partaking with the morning breakfast that was presented.
I go up to the bar, to the barman.
The
You go up to
barman.
The barman.
yeah, Thomas. So Thomas, the the proprietor of the establishment, the Lucky Stump. That's that you've already met a few times coming here before. So you could see him. He's there helping out with the the younger barmaid female that's just filling up the pitcher of what looks like some bright pink juice that sits on the table, and you can see Thomas just assisting her in other manners as well with plates and silverware and whatnot.
So, Thomas, top of the morning to you.
Hey, morning. I was hoping you all slept well.
Yes, like a baby, but thoughtful of some things.
Um, just want to give you a heads up. There, you might have a couple of the constables prying. Just want to give you a heads up. They might ask questions in the near future with the events that took place last night. I also want to mention that I may not be the only one last night that had seen, let's just say, the capabilities of the old man you're with.
To perhaps suggest we try to get out of town as soon as possible.
Not yet. I do have friends in this town, in high places. If trouble does come and does seem to be a problem for you, I will make sure to. He just gets closer and kind of whispers. I will make sure My friends will take care of you, and I will let you know ahead of time.
Theo leans even closer. He's like, that sounds good, but I have some need of assistance.
Yeah. What shall it be?
I don't know if you or any of your friends have the, how do we say, access to a work table, a workstation of some kind.
Are you a man of innovation craft? I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. There's only one place in town I can really think of that can perhaps give you what you're looking for.
Don't tell me this is Mr. Truce's place, is it?
Oh, no. There is a watchmaker in town. But he's
Watchmaker?
beyond. Yeah, he's actually beyond a watchmaker. Let's say he partakes in assisting those that need help with their furnaces and everything. Let's just say he's a handyman, an extremely well-crafted handyman.
What's his name?
As a DM, I have it somewhere, and I just can't find my page. Person.
DM broken.
DM lost. I have too many screens on my fucking... Alright. So, he mentions the name of... that you seek. His name is Cedric. Cedric Carmichael. He's a little eccentric, so be warned.
We've had our share of eccentricities with our folks. And he looks back and he's kind of like motioning to God damn it, Hellscream and Voxy. Isn't that quite a sight?
What did the man say?
Well, he did caution us that we should be wary, and I'm talking to kind of the whole. I'm back at the table. He cautioned us to be wary of the local constables might be querying about us, about the old man and his abilities.
I thought he was being careful last night.
I bet he was, but, at the heat of battle, in the open town square, there's nothing we could have done to prevent being discovered. At least we have, the good news is that our friend Thomas over there, he knows a lot of people and is, I feel, on our side. So if there's any trouble, we can go to him in the immediate need.
Well, at least it's good to know that someone's not going to immediately turn him in. I'll try to keep a better eye on my Canticus.
He also mentioned someone that I have some interest in meeting.
Oh?
Yes, the name of Cedric. What was his last name?
Carmichael.
Carmichael. Oh, you must have heard.
No. Well, if that's the case, since you and Hellscream were outside last night before I met up with you guys, Thorn paid us at least the portion he promised before he found out that Wayne had promised us when he went in there to find Trina. So
Oh,
let me
that's
divide this up for
very good news. It might come in handy. How much was it?
He gave us 50 platinum from what I counted last night, and then there's 500 of these marks.
Very well. So let's see.
I
That
figured
makes
we were
it-
dividing this between the four of us, since we're the only ones that have survived.
Yes.
If
Poor
that
Meliodas.
seems fair. Unless you have some other way of splitting this up.
No, I agree. That's fair. What do you think, Hellscream? And he pats him in the back. Fair's fair, huh? We all bled.
I've already pulled a pouch out and just laid it on the table in front of all three of us.
You can tell that Hellscream is like smirking.
Like from the side of his mask.
Yeah, like you see like the cheeks kind of go up a little bit more than anything.
Okay, so that's 125 marks each. And the fifth 25, right? No. That's 12.5. So does that mean it's 12 platinum and 5 gold?
So remember, the marks are gold, are gold worth per bill, per like quote unquote dollar. It's a
Oh no,
it's a
I was
gold.
dividing the platinum.
Yeah.
What's the PP? Platinum, right?
Yeah, platinum. Yeah.
Okay, so we got 12.5 and we divided by 4.
So one platinum equals 10 gold.
Okay,
So,
so
10
then
marks basically. For every 10 mark is one platinum.
okay, so I guess it's 12 and plus 135 marks per person.
There you go.
Oh, how do you want to do math today? Come on. All right. Cool. Ah, closer to our goal, Hellscream. Closer.
So just want to give you a heads up, Hellscream, that marks are basically the dollar currency essentially, like a dollar representing gold.
That was the text message you sent earlier.
Yes. So one mark is basically a bill that is equal to one gold. If you look at your character sheet, we're using the EP, like Ethereum. So you could just put EP. You could put your marks that you've gained in EP. That way you can keep track of that.
Okay.
All right.
And make sure, I guess, God damn, I'm just blanking out. Make sure we get Jesse's character's monies. You'll keep track of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kim. Yeah, there. Cool. I twist. Theo kind of turns really quick to Thomas. Where could I find this Carmichael?
Oh, yeah, you're not gonna find him in the merchant's square. You're gonna have to go east of town. He's more in the residential areas, but he's got a small hut. It's kind of hard to find, in my opinion. You might want to go asking around. He's well known enough with the smaller folk, I should say. Just want to give you a heads up. You might get a little hard time when you're in that side of town. More vagabonds and ruffians kind of partake in that area. So, just once again, you're warned.
Noted. So head east and ask for him.
Say again?
So head east and ask for him.
Yeah.
Just word of
Yeah,
mouth.
I mean, he's got. Now, all the places are kind of jam-packed all together. There's no standalone residential area. So, it's gonna look like a hole in the wall, really.
Those are the best places, in my opinion. I've learned a lot of lessons from folks in those dwellings.
Right. Now, mind you, most of the authorities don't really. Let's say most of them try not to really delve deep within that side of town. There are a couple of gangs that claim themselves protectors of that district. So, just mindful thinking that the western part of town is where you're gonna find the more upper class, few nobles as well. One I'm sure you heard of, Cerinthan. He's basically the main pelting company within town. They've been around since I'd say since the beginning of the town as erected, really. But yeah. If you do find yourself in trouble, just try not to make anyone too upset.
Understood. We'll pursue at our own risk, and I appreciate you delving this information. It will prove quite useful.
Anytime. Now, I have to go back to room 3. I think someone threw up upstairs. Mind, excuse me, please. He starts walking upstairs. He has like a bucket.
I turn back to the group. Well, I got some information into where the whereabouts of this Carmichael person might be. But we might run into some trouble, but it is of high importance.
Well, just be careful.
Do you want to stay here with the old man? Will I go with Hellscream? Or would you like to stay? Or would you like to come?
He's asleep. I think he's going to be asleep for a while, so I'd like to go sightseeing with you guys.
Yes. I think that Omen kid, I think he probably worked himself out too much. He seems a little fragile for his age, don't you think?
May, you noticed right away when just passing by, his door was open and empty. Like there's no one inside his room.
I don't know if he seems fragile. I mean, he was able to keep up when I was on the Manticore last night, but he seems to be gone now. I don't know where he went.
That is it. Little scoundrel. So sneaky.
Do you think he might be a good fit with us? I don't really know him.
It's too early to tell. He's proven himself quite worthy on the battlefield.
That is very true.
But there's something fishy. I don't know, I can't quite name it. I'm impressed with what he's packing, and I'm talking about his weaponry, of course.
Of course.
Right. Well, Hellscream, are you ready?
I'm sorry, did you say fishy?
Yes, I did. Not just quite yet. Hold on. I owe you a big fish.
This you do. Let's get to moving.
So we
Hellscream,
head
how
out.
was that manticore last night? You cut some of it up.
It could have been better.
Oh,
How did it taste, Hellscream?
It was like hard meat. Even hard for me to bite on. Yes.
I'm telling you, fish will never be better than
Oh.
better than anything.
Yes, how it melts in the mouth.
Even though you cut it fresh and threw it on the fire, Hellscream, it was already tasting like it was rotting when you took that bite.
Damn, like that. Like what you talking about? Like a few hours?
It's a poor shelf life, like a minute.
Yeah. Like you literally just slayed the beast, ripped a chunk off, like a few
And, like,
minutes
went
later, threw
straight
it on
to
the
the
fire,
fire.
and it was
It was,
just
like,
like you
turning
took a
green.
bite, and it was just like, nope.
I must have done something wrong.
Hey, don't be too hard on yourself. There's always
Aw.
next time.
I'll get it right the next time.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's head out. So we head out east towards the town, the east of the town.
All right, and May, you see your friends pretty much heading towards the eastern part of town. Anything you want to do in particular?
I'm gonna follow them.
Okay.
If we do pass by like a painter shop or something, I do want to grab some paints and stuff.
All right. All right. So in the meantime, you are kind of actively looking. Let's say. Go ahead and roll investigation check. Everybody at this point.
We're window shopping.
Yeah.
I rolled a 9.
9.
Oh gosh.
2.
Oh,
We
it's a,
ain't
yeah, it's a
find
2. It's a 2
shit.
because Vox, you still have like this little piece of burlap kind of like
Yeah.
covering the majority of you, so you're like looking out by like just a sliver from the bag that you're in.
Kind of like Boo when she puts on the Halloween costume.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah. What else you guys get?
And like the only angle you have is like his armpit.
It's
I
my
rolled
favorite angle.
a hard 6.
Oh my god, a hard 6.
I got an 8. May's got the biggest
Wow.
roll.
All right.
9.
Wow, you guys start heading east. As you're passing, you could see, different establishments here and there. You could see one inside some sort of jewelry shop. You pass by that fragrance shop once again. With the this time, you could see that there's like parts of it boarded up because of the window that you had crashed through with the manticore. And you spent a good 30 minutes right now walking towards the east, passing most of the merchant establishments. As you find yourself now in a more rural area of places where you can see that individuals have lines crossed over with a lot of clothes just drying. You can see that there's definitely more of a residential aspect. The streets are much filthier as well. You can see that there's cobblestone streets right now, filled with puddles of mud and soot. You can tell this part of town, the people that are walking around are not as well kept as the others you've noticed, at least in the merchant district. For the better part, you can tell that they are definitely, lack there are funds to even keep up with just the area alone. Sometimes occasionally you see like someone open a window and just throw buckets of what looks like filth from the window, like just splashing down. Some areas smell bad, like rancid.
Are we going in the right direction, Theo?
I'm afraid so. I was warned we would encounter such dwellings. I think the worse the better. We'll be closer.
Okay.
It's unfortunate how these people live, but don't take it for granted. These are rough people. They've been through a lot.
Seems normal to me.
There's a moment where there's like 3 kids, young kids. You can see that they're probably around the age of 7 to 10 between the 3 of them. You see the pack of the 3 kids just wander closer to you guys, really trying to figure out like the likes of you coming in here. You see one of them, that's the smallest one, walk up to Hellscream actually, as he looks up at you and he's like, "Hey, is it true you always wear those masks? My pa says that you wear those masks to cover the whatever, grotesque features you have. Is that true?"
Almost to like mock the kid. Is he the only one that can actually see me?
I mean, there's the other 2 that he's with, but they didn't approach you. They're just a little off of the street. As this one came up towards you as you guys were getting closer, essentially.
God, I hate having fucking kids around. Because it's like it could go either way, man. They're either fucking little scouts or they're gonna steal from you. It's one or the other. It's never good. But fuck me. So like, just to like fuck with the kid, I just want to like show him the face.
All right.
But like kind of like just like discreetly showing him. Just like I want to make sure he's the only one that can see it.
Are you trying to like scare him off?
Yeah, almost.
All right, go ahead and roll an intimidation check with advantage.
15.
Oh yeah, as soon as he mentions that, you just like take a knee and you look at the kid, and it seems like an invitation on his end. So he just gets closer, and as soon as you just reveal just enough, you see his eyes bulge, and he just runs off. In his like little, like he's wearing like these really short trousers. Like you can tell like they're already, like he's already outgrown them for the most part. With a like suspenders and like these really worn out boots that look like it was like hand me down with patched up like newsboy hat. He's just gone.
Well, that wasn't very nice, Hellscream.
He'll get used to it.
Well, you gave him the thrill of his lifetime for the day.
Did you see the fear in his eyes? Oh.
Let's just hope his father, his papa, doesn't have a problem with us now.
Papa.
Did you hear that?
I heard that.
You heard it from your back. As this mechanical sound coming from your back, Hellscream.
Yeah, so Hellscream just like turns around like in a wide circle, like wondering what the hell it was.
It's here. Hey, hold on, it's right here. Hold on. I kind of put the burlap sack down and I look. I'm like, hello? are you there? And I'm like,
And Voxy in her many parts just kind of all scrambled together in that bag. See like one leg that one piece that looks like a partial leg's like sticking up from the bag. It's like a foot like sticking out.
don't worry. We're gonna get you out of there.
As you continue on and you begin to notice there's more people around and as you ask perhaps where you can find this Mr. Carmichael, a few of them just kind of shuns you off like right immediately as they see the likes of you. They can tell that the group are not from here essentially. You can tell a lot of them are reserved for the most part. And they seem to be, every time you ask them a question, they seem to be really inquisitive, like why you're asking this question, what is your motive, and you get that sense from the few that you've spoken to.
It seems that we're not really welcome here. No one, they're keeping their secrets to themselves.
Maybe we're just not speaking their language.
I'm trying to think here. Let's see. And are we just kind of circling the block, kind of like the area, just kind of winding around, trying to see if we see something, or is there
I mean, there's very much a sense that these streets weren't really thought out. First of all, they're very windy. There's no pattern,
rhyme or reason, right?
Right. There's like no pattern of how the streets were created. They were just kind of all over the place, where these structures of for living were just placed in various areas and angles that doesn't really make sense. I mean, you feel you are getting closer to the outer wall of the whole area. There is like one main wall that circles around Vanir, for sure. That being said, there are other shanty areas outside of these walls. But you're in the right area from the description that Thomas had mentioned and in detail, essentially.
Perhaps those children probably the best chance we had, Helskrim, now that I think of it.
Doubtful.
I mean, there are many people, and if you do decide to go among any of those and ask specific questions, that may help as well.
Okay, so then I try to see. I mean, is there anyone like older? I see. Want to look at an older gentleman.
Go ahead and make a perception check, actually.
$22.
22. Yeah, actually, you do see an elderly woman. This one seems to be. It kind of reminds you of a panhandler, because you can see that she's just the way she's dressed. She doesn't have anything extravagant about her. You can see that she is wearing rags from head to toe in different areas, patched up. she seems to be carrying just a random large sack, filthy in nature, long gray hair with with really beautiful green eyes, actually. She seems to be kind of minding her business and almost look like she's kind of talking to herself at one point. As she's looking down at an alley and then just looking around and then just looks like a little upset.
What's wrong, my dear?
You approach her and she's just like, she looks at you with just a big surprise, looking at just the way you look. Why did you come over here and try to bother us, folks? Why don't you just move along?
Oh, well, we don't mean to bother you. Perhaps some charity might appease you a little. And I gave her a mark.
Charity? Do you think I look like the marks? The type that just accepts charity? And she just grabs it and she's like looking at it, like like putting it up in like in the sunlight, looking at it, making sure it's real, and then she just like pockets it. And she just looks at the rest of you at this point. Now go on. What is it you want? You know, I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm not gonna just, flip my skirt up for anyone, and for that amount as well.
By no means, madam, and I mean no offense. I would never dare to trifle in such manners with a woman with such beautiful eyes.
Go and make a persuasion check.
Do I get advantage?
I'm gonna say advantage since you did mention her eyes. Her beautiful green eyes, right?
16.
16. She, you see her hard, like, personality that she just kind of introduced herself with. You could see that hardness definitely soften right after that remark.
Well, I see you are smiling. What's your name?
Well, if you insist. Celia. And yours?
The name is Theo. And
Well-
these are my compatriots.
Well, I pay extra for, more than one.
Well, there's more where that came from if you're willing to help us.
Well, if you insist, that's gonna run you 100 marks. For an hour.
100
1 hour.
mark.
Yes, for 1 hour. 1 hour is all you have with me.
Oh, no. Well, I don't need an hour, perhaps 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Who gets off in 5 minutes?
Oh, no. I'm looking for more of a tour guide.
Tour guide? Well, fancy yourself in this place. Wouldn't you be more in, in the merchant district? Or maybe in the western one where you're gonna, prance around with those poppycock looking umbrellas like the women's do?
No, we're here for a skill, not for an item. So we're seeking a man of extraordinary talent by the name of Cedric Carmichael. Would you know where we can find him?
Ten more marks. And I'll show you where he's at.
Hmm.
It's really steep, by the way.
Okay. It's really steep, right?
Yeah.
So,
Like she's just trying to. She's basically fishing right now. You can tell she's fishing.
okay. Hmm. Perhaps we can try with someone else.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
I'll give you another mark if you find us to our destination nearby.
She's just like scratching in different areas. Fine. One mark. Follow me. And now this time she's starting to lead you off into just one of the small alleyways. And throughout the whole time, she's kind of just talking about nonsense, like, and you know, we've been here forever and blah blah blah. This town has changed so much, and can you believe that part of the Eastern District has been taking over the northern part of the Eastern District? You have some of the nobles paying off all these so-and-sos and taking over our land. And she just goes on and on. And this time,
And
she
Theo's
gets
kind
to
of like, appeasing her and just like, yes, oh, terrible. You're so right.
and a good 10 minutes. You guys finally stop, and she shows you what looks just like it looks like a back door to a small building. And she just stops in front of it. All right, pay up. This is it. He's quite of a handful. And
Okay.
and he charges way more than than he should. At least that's my idea.
Well, good to know. Are you sure this is the place?
Well, I'm quite sure. She's looking. Well, yeah. Just look at that door. I mean, look at this small knob. And you look at the door, there's two knobs. One, like, normal sized people, and the other one's, like, lower. And if you look at the door, it's, like, cut in half. And you can see that one knob would open, like, the bottom half of it, as opposed to, like, using the top to pull the whole door over.
Right.
And then there is what looks like a wooden plaque, like, that was once probably fancy, because you can see that worn off. There is initials.
What do they say?
The initials of Mr. Carmichael. Was that SR? SC? I'm sorry.
SC. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. As promised, here you go. One mark.
Ha! And grabs it. She just walks off. Thank you much. And she just basically just disappears into the cross section of another alley.
So I walk up to the door and I knock.
All right, knock you do. Takes a couple of seconds. Then it takes a minute. Nothing happens. But you did hear like a crash. Like something fell.
Oof. Is there a window or a way
No
to
window.
look in?
It's just all like bricks.
Well, I hope he's okay.
Are you
I
sure
listen
this
into
is
the door.
place?
What's that?
Are you sure this is the place?
Well, we have one person telling us, and this is it. And by the looks of it, the initials match. I listen into the door, kind of see if I hear anything.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
24.
You do hear mumbling. You can't really hear what it's saying. There's a murmur going behind that door. And then you could hear a couple of things being shifted and things are happening behind that door. Like not exactly behind it, but somewhere behind that door you can hear things happening.
I knock again.
you go ahead and knock again, and this time you hear tiny footsteps getting close to it. Who would be behind this door, bothering me in this hour?
This is the name is Theo Darshan. I seek the accessibility to your workshop.
You wouldn't be here on the case of Will, sir, have you? I told Will, sir, that I will pay him back when I have the funds.
No, sir, this has nothing to do with whoever you just mentioned. We are here on our own accord. I have a project to work on.
The door opens, and it's like the bottom half, like opens like abruptly, like, and you can see like this tiny little head come out, really short, about 3.5 feet from the ground. You can see this little person just kind of look up towards you, and he's like looking at everybody, just like one by one, trying to figure out like who's behind his door. Well, if you're not from Whistle, then what brings you?
Well, we come from afar, and...
Well, I say... he's looking at Hellscream.
Do you care to take us in and we can have a chat?
You don't come to, ransack and steal from a poor old gnome like myself?
No, sir. We're here... here to create something, and to make something whole. And I kind of twist Hellscream and reveal Voxy.
Oh, he looks upon it, he's like... His eyes just go huge. And the door closes right behind, and then you hear... And then the whole door just opens. Come in, come! As he invites you in. As you all begin to walk into what looks like a small abode for him to stay, but then you see a much larger area within. Actually, the place is like the place is very much like a studio apartment in size. You can see it's very fitting just for him, how small he is. You can see that there's enough of everything he needs to sustain himself, but there is like what looks like a cellar, a staircase that goes down. Please, I have tea. If that's something you're interested in. If you don't mind, if I can see the rest of your magnificent looking contraption there.
In due time. We will be happy to appreciate your hospitality. But it's I that would like to make sure you allow me to use your workspace. Would that be at some cost? And I'm sure for the inconvenience.
Sure. Well, it's not quite large enough for. I mean, I'm not sure what you seek within my workshop that may help you, but yes, come this way. And he's there. He like puts like trying to get things out the way since everything is so cramped with his like small form. He can just easily get through areas. He leads you towards the you can see down the stairs, the cellar. Mind your head as you guys are following him behind. You can see that this crawl space underneath is like, it's maybe 4.5, almost 5 feet tall.
Well, it's a little tight, but it'll have to do.
Yeah, Hellscream, you're just having a hard time, like, even trying to get in this place. Like, it's like, it's like 2 feet from like you just standing erected, like how short it is.
Oh, so I'm like basically hunchback. Just
Yeah, like you're like really low. As you hunch back, like since you're carrying Voxy on your back, and Voxy's like, you can see like parts of her arms like scraping on the top part of like the ceiling, like in like under the in the cellar downstairs, because of just how short it is and how tall you are. When you enter in the bottom, you can see that there are a few contraptions and a large work table with other tools and hands. You can see that there is a variety of different tools that you've probably never seen before. Kind of sparks your curiosity that there's so many tools for different things, and you can see like there's various forms of different clocks and some watches hanging from different areas, pocket watches, and you can hear all the clicking, the talking from each one of these little contraptions. Like everything's just like kind of in unison, giving you this whole vibe of like this is this beautiful space of contraptions that he created for his workspace.
It's quite lovely here. I see you're quite fond of watches.
Well, it's not important if you can't tell the time, can it? Is it anything I can assist you with? I mean, I'm quite handy with,
Sure.
is all your friends partaking as well?
Well, they might want to see, but let's see. I kind of just go reach behind Hellscream and just kind of start taking Voxy to the work area.
Uh-huh.
And start placing her down. And well, I kind of have an idea of where to begin, but perhaps you have some knowledge you can impart.
Well, I'll be happy to assist. This is exciting. He's just, you can tell he's all for it right now. At this point, we're gonna go dive into what you're gonna try to accomplish. As everybody else, they notice, you guys notice that this is probably going to be a timely manner of where Theo is going to be in his elements right now. Besides Voxy, the rest of you guys, what are you guys planning on doing? Do you guys plan to stay here? He does seem to, have like this other tiny hands of assistance.
I'm going to leave my journal with Theo, and I'm going to ask him to write down copy down all the symbols that he sees on Voxy so that I can translate them later.
Will do.
All right.
And I'm going to explore this end of the town.
All right. As you make your leave, Hellscream, what is it that you want to accomplish? Remember, this is going to be a good moment to figure things out, or seek something in particular, or try to accomplish something. And what is it you want to do during this time? As you can tell that you're not really needed. You're feeling like just the non-necessity of the presence, essentially.
Well, Theo made it there safe, so I'm good there. I want to find the blacksmith.
All right.
Yes.
And
possibly do some window shopping.
All right. Let's say May. You left with May at this point, as you both head off, and you guys could figure out what you may do together, or probably help in what nature you would help each other, I guess.
Give me the catalog.
yeah, you're back. Let's say you're already back in like the main area of the Eastern District. And you find yourselves like in the middle of that area. What do you guys want to go from there? I know Hellscream, you're gonna look for a blacksmith in general.
That's the first on the list. Yes.
Right. May.
I'm gonna still try to find a painter shop then.
Okay. And you have a sense that it's probably back at the merchant district. Along with other things, and let's say both of you guys are going back because Hellscream, you feel like perhaps maybe the blacksmith would probably be somewhere in the district, if anything, in the merchant side. Go ahead and roll investigations between the two of you. Basically, trying to get information, talking to the locals, trying to figure out what you can find where.
12.
12. And Hellscream?
3.
Ooh, a 3. Okay, so you guys are together. You guys managed to find your way back to the merchant district. May you do find someone that kind of gives you an idea where they know there might be a paint shop somewhere as you begin to head that direction. Hellscream, that same person that May ended up talking to, they kind of feel that it could be somewhere in the merchant district from the information, but they're just not really too sure where. Let's say it takes you another 20 minutes when you find a paint shop. And within a time of you, Hellscream, looking for that blacksmith, it takes you almost an hour. So within a good hour you spent, I'd say, from just that 3, you were just running around, and most of the information people gave you, because they look at you and the way you look, they're just like, well, let's just get this guy out of here and try to avoid talking to him. They just gave you more misinformation than anything else, but you managed finally to find it, wasting an hour in your day. May, you find yourself at a shop that seems to sell all sorts of different dye colors, in the manner of ink, and the manner of what looks like some sort of acrylics as well. What do you want to do and accomplish here?
I am looking for stuff that I could use to do maybe like watercolors. I'm actually trying to illustrate scroll-wise our journey since the beginning to now.
All right. So, the person right away that you meet with, it seems to be the owner or proprietor of the shop. You see what looks like a human female. She looks to be pretty good shape and young, and you can tell that she's very much vibrant in her personality. She wears a long dress, and you can tell that on the bottom half, where it would be like a large apron, you can see that there are all sorts of color smudges and smeared all over it. As you come in to greet her, and she assists you. She mentions right away as you come in looking for your colors, watercolors. There are many different types of inks that you can use to dilute them, and you can get some beautiful colors of washed out colors from these inks. And it's gonna, like, depending how many you're gonna get, could roll like each color has certain prices because of how hard it is to get them. Being that some of them have to be made from certain plants or certain creatures that they might produce certain colors. So what colors are you looking for? Are you looking for one color in particular, or are you looking for maybe a whole spectrum of different colors?
A whole spectrum of different colors. Maybe something of like your basic standard colors.
Uh, hmm. I might just have the thing. Be right back. She takes her a quick second as she produces what looks like. It looks like a box. This box, as she opens it, you can see that there are a manner of Roy G. Biv colors, essentially. And she tells you, like, this is, all these colors, you can combine them and you can make various other colors with them. And if you need to, wash down and have a more of a light color, this is the solution for that. And, she gives you all the necessities in order for you to use everything you need for that. And that will, this will run you at, I'd say maybe, let's call it 15 silver.
That sounds fine. Do you by chance have different brushes for this? And I'm looking for a good quality paper or a thickness of it so that it doesn't, bleed and stuff to do these.
Oh, I got just the thing. Takes her another minute. So she produces the the sheets of canvases for you, as well as the brushes. Some of the brushes are are only made by certain animals that are best for the use of coloring. Altogether, runs you just like over 2 marks, and she says like, oh, maybe 2 marks and 5 silver actually.
Yeah, and I hand her 2 marks and the silver that she wants.
All right. Excuse me. That being said, while Hellscream is still looking around before he reaches the armor or blacksmith, I'm sorry. Theo, you're there with Sarwick?
Cedric.
Yeah.
Carmel.
And it's Cedric with the S, by the way. He tries to get an idea of what you're trying to do, and he's there just kind of giving you his thoughts and stuff.
Yeah, Theo takes off like his shirt. He goes shirtless here.
Shirtless Theo.
Shirtless Theo. And he unpacks his tinker's tools, but among his tinker's tools, he has there's like a customized hand tool, that's very indicative of his culture. It has an Elma symbol on it, and it's like a ergonomic wooden handle, and on both ends it has a variety of multi-tool functions to it.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of his customized
like
tinker.
There's almost like a Swiss Army knife, but
exactly.
with certain tools instead.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a multi-tool, basically.
Exactly.
Like a Gerber tool. Yeah. So yeah, he's fascinated as soon as you pulled it out. That's quite a contraption you got there. And you can see that he's loving this whole thing. As aside from what he normally does, this whole new welcome task that you brought at his door, essentially.
If you like this, you would have loved my pocket watch from the Ark'Azia Advanced Weapon Brigade.
Pocket watch, you say? Oh, would have loved to have my hands on such a watch. I could only imagine the unique intricacies and how all the mechanics interact with each other.
It's a beautiful watch. I don't know if you ever got to see one, but right now it's with a gentleman, a fellow by the name of Gibson, back in Holmesfirst. He's working on fixing it for me.
Gibson, you say?
Yes, and fellow watch worker, I believe. You must know me.
The clock tower keeper.
Yes, clock
Yeah.
tower.
Um, well, I dare say I might have quite a great old time speaking to someone that is much knowledgeable with the works of a clock. Might have to find myself in travels to Holmesfirth in the future.
Yes. And when you do, send him my regards. And tell him to finish my watch. I will want it as soon as possible.
So at this point, what is the first thing you want to try to do with Voxy?
So first thing I want to do is actually, I want to have Cedric focus on the appendages, and on those areas, and I kind of want to focus on her core, or at least examine Voxy's core,
All right.
or like the source of her power. Where the source of the energy source for the
Right. It's in other words, like that there is a heart to what is making her alive within her. Go ahead and roll tinkering tool at this point.
Feel violated.
Uh-oh.
We're just getting started. You have a sweaty
This is the
Middle
first-
Eastern man right over here.
This is our first roll for what we try to accomplish during our downtime.
Okay, a 9.
A 9. There is a sense of frustration as the technology is so far advanced and so foreign at the same time that anything you've ever studied and ever worked on, this is the epitome of like alien technology that you were looking for, not just yourself and in terms of just the nation of the Arashis themselves. This is more the sense of like not just trial and error of you trying to figure things out. There is the sense of learning as well, as you're looking at things that you've never seen before. But unfortunately, this feels like something like a task that you may end up going like deeper into and needing more time, as you feel like you spent a lot of time with no results.
And as I'm working on it, I'm sketching all the symbols I see as well
Okay.
into
like your notes.
Yeah,
Essentially.
mine and May's notes, her journal.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm gonna say this took you almost a whole day, like you trying to figure out, and you're frustrated trying to get the sense of like what is happening. On let's see, Cedric, he's gonna roll. What is it you were trying to have him do? I mean, he doesn't have the will to what in terms of what you're capable of. It's more in the smaller aspects of things.
Right.
What is it you're trying to make him do?
To at least the limbs, to focus on the limbs and putting them together and mending that.
He rolled very low. And he's stumped more than you are, because like this is like far from his capabilities. He's loving it, even though there is the sense of frustration across both of you guys. So let's say the day was spent and you think you want to come back and hit this again the next day. May, you didn't spend too much time, so we can get back to you if you want to try to do something else today. The Hell Scream. After an hour of looking in town, you find one blacksmith. You see the what looks like a shop that is not necessarily doesn't look like a blacksmith, but you can see that this shop has all manners of different metals put together in the sense of for art. And this kind of gives you the idea, is like, all right, this guy might know what he's doing, with metal and smithing in general. You can tell that there is a skill to it, right? You do see that most of the stuff that you see in this shop is in the form of an art piece. You see like what looks like scrap metals from different, probably like different scraps of pieces that he had managed to put together. But what does catch your attention is that one of these art pieces look like it's a suit of armor, and you may have the sense that he may be capable of creating, something you might be seeking.
Mm. How goes it?
As you walk in, and he's basically heating up and banging on a metal, like two pieces of metal together, and as you approach, wasn't expecting company. You can see he's a shorter figure. As you turn around, you can see that there is like a long chin goatee and a braid with a knot in the bottom. You see what looks like a younger dwarf, actually. And he's wearing like heavy leather apron on the front, of course, and with these chunky gloves as well. Well, I haven't seen the likes of you in here. How can I assist you? This is more of a shop for building, gates and all. Are you looking for a gate to be built?
I just reach into like my back and I slam the carapace like on his desk.
He just looks at you, looks at it, and he just picks it up and he's looking at it. And when you look at the way he reacts to it, he's just like tapping it. What in the 5 have you brought me?
Notes.
Notes.
This hide, if you will.
Hide. It's more like a shell, a large one. Where did you even find such a thing? If it's from a creature, that is.
Yes. Mighty big one at that. I know
What
not
is it?
his name, but
It's Umber Hulk.
I knew the other name, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming-
Yeah. It's Hellscream. You don't even know.
Yeah.
He just knew it was a large beetle-looking fucking creature.
I tried to like explain that the creature's like, yeah, wide.
He's looking at you like you're full of shit. It's like, okay. All right. Now, why do you present this to me? What do you want me to do with this creature's shell?
I'm thinking I would like to wear it.
So, you want me to make armor? I'm assuming you want me to make what? He's looking at you. What you're wearing? I've never seen the like of the armor you wear. Do you want me to just create one from scratch, or do you want me to upgrade what you're wearing?
You're the blacksmith. What be best?
Well, given the material, and time, I can get something done perhaps in a little more than a 10-day. But that is, of course, if I'm gonna use my own material to create said armor. It will take me much longer to find the appropriate steel. Also, the cost will be much greater if I would have to procure my own materials.
What's the cost?
Well, let's see. This is usually how much, and all right. And for custom makes for your size, which is quite large, you're looking at 250.
What?
Oh, gold or mox, whichever you have. Now, no guarantee that I can get done within the 10 days I was speaking. It's all about what I can find and what comes at my doorstep too. Scrap isn't really that great in variety in this town. I mean, it's not like it's a industrial town with full of metal workers. So you're looking at an average within 10 day to 10 day and a half. Not sure. Can't guarantee it.
Platinums is 100 gold is 1 platinum, or is it 10 gold?
10.
Platinum?
Yeah.
Mathematically, I think it is true. And each mark is worth 1
gold. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, what say you? You interested? And you can just, pay half now, and within the time specified, you can pay the rest, and we can have something ready for you.
I throw 130 marks on the table.
All right. Basically what he's insinuating is like the material is gonna be it's gonna be hard to create all this stuff. But he says probably by 10 days he can have it done essentially. As you pay half the payment, and you just see him more shock and awe as he's looking at the carapace, and he's like, you can see that he's like taking one of his like smaller tools and tapping at it and trying to see what this thing is and what it's made out of, as you leave him to. May, you do have a good amount of time left throughout the day. I'm not sure if you want to accomplish anything else.
I'm going to ask the shop owner if there is a guild of letters or a library.
Okay. So upon paying for everything, and you ask her, oh yes, if you go actually south in town, towards the docks, there is a larger building, and I believe that is one of the smaller chapters. My betrothed have mentioned a large library of sorts, like large in the sense of town, but the city, from what I hear, is a cathedral of books and knowledge. there is a few folks that run the place. I'm not really sure. I can tell you much about that beyond that.
Just where it's at. That's all I need.
All right then. Good luck with everything, and good luck with your paintings.
Thank you.
You're gonna be heading over to the southern. The district is basically the docks, essentially.
Yes.
As you start heading over there, Hellscream, you gonna do anything else too, besides just getting your?
Nah, he running me broke.
All right. Just wanted to make sure if there's anything else you want to do. May, go ahead and roll a investigation check. And Hellstrom, you're not gonna do anything else though, besides the fact that you just came from that place.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be that much, but yeah, I'm good.
A 2.
Well, that's because of the materials.
So,
A 2.
would the chainmail be considered material?
You talking about what you're wearing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh.
That's why he was asking before. If you were going to provide material or if because you did provide just the carapace itself, but this is just a chest plate essentially. It's not a whole. It's not to give you like enough for a whole garb for the armor set itself.
So if I threw in said chainmail, because that like went over my head. How much?
So with the chainmail, he would have charged you 100 instead.
Oh, then let's definitely do that.
All right. So if that's the case, it's gonna be 100 alone, and then the given time he gave you, he said about 5 days or so.
All right.
Because now he doesn't have to worry about the materials, looking for it, and then creating the rest of the armor, basically. You know what I mean? So yeah, so 100 marks as you turn in your armor, and you know he's looking at it, and you know it's your armor from Tarkem, from where you're from, and it's like it's very foreign, so he's looking at it, he's like really excited, working on it, and he tells you can come back in 5 days. He should have it ready.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I want to do some market shopping.
All right. May 2 you said. There's this sense that you're wasting more time in the docks than you wanted to. The docks themselves have different varieties of industry where you can have ship repairs. You have an area where it's basically just taverns for sailors. You have areas where it's like small areas of residential areas, some areas where it looks like it might be an inn. But it took you almost the majority of the day, as you do find what looks like a large structure with like these large pillars in the front, and on the pillars you can see what looks like carved on them an open book with a chain going across it, and you can see what it says on the top of this majority of like bricks and stone, with shingles on the top, you know, with your angled roof. You see in the front what looks like what says actually it says Vanir chapter, and then you can see in the bottom GOL.
I'm going to walk in there.
All right. As you walk in, it's actually like steps kind of going up a little bit, almost like a library. As you reach there, you can see that there's a clerk there. In this small room that looks like there's a couple of doors that lead out. Lead further in, actually. On the counter, scribing, actually, you see a what looks like a young excuse me. You see what looks like a young halfling, and he's just writing, and he doesn't even pay attention that you had walked in.
I take a moment and just kind of look around at the surrounding, and then I walk up to him.
Okay.
Excuse me.
There's like this moment of startledness as he's like deep into like his writing. Oh, wow, that was quite alarming. I didn't even hear you. How may I assist you? He's just looking you up and down.
I was wondering if you have any thing in regarding the drift or maybe a spiritual realm?
Come again?
I'm looking for information in regarding something called the drift, or do you have anything regarding a spiritual realm of some sort?
I think you have mistaken this place. This is a chapter of for the guildmen. It's not a library. That's what you're looking for.
I've heard that this place holds knowledge. I am with a
yes.
person here, a companion of mine is of the charter, not at this one particular, but he's always talked about that if I needed to look up something, you would be the place to do it. Or at least any chapter, I would assume.
You see him just close this large ledger book. Boom. Well, these archives are only accessible to those that are in the guild. Now, there is special circumstances, but you will need permission if that is the case.
Then I will come back another day with my friend.
Right, your friend that you say is part of the guild. Perhaps that's
yes.
better. That's probably a better opportunity for you. Please, come when you are with your friend. He opens the book again. He starts writing.
May just looks really upset, and she walks out, and she slams the door shut.
Zoom. So you walk out. Hellscream. Bina, you do have extra time at this point after spending a good hour looking for the place originally. What is it you would try to do for this last hump of the day?
Want to just like shop around more for like useful tools, more like things that I could use like on the adventure, like rope.
Okay.
Just
there
like
is
some miscellaneous.
Remember, you remember right away because you already know where it is. You remember right away your first visit in Vanir. You had come across the name of the damn place now. Where is it? Knock your mother. The Red Cliff Essentials, which is basically you had met with, everybody had gone in there to get gear for your adventure. Remember, you guys wanted to climb that cliff, and you guys had previously had gone here before, and there was a small halfling, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, his name is Maynard. So you remember coming here before, and this is pretty much a general store. So whatever, for the purposes of the things that you want to try to get through, whatever's on the player's handbook in terms of the general equipment stuff, you can go ahead and procure basically all those necessities within there.
Anything from the player's handbook, you said?
Anything that's like, yeah, from the main equipment stuff. That's, you know, your mundane equipment stuff that I'm talking about. Like all the adventure equipment that you find in the player's handbook, you'll find it in here. I mean, it's not in the largest stock, and some of them not in the greatest conditions, but functional.
Alright, player's handbook.
And I can link you here it goes. I can link you some stuff here that will give you all the necessities you're looking for. So I'm going to put that in game, and that is basically the adventuring gear that you can find within this place. Prices are pretty much the same as you see there. I'm not going to really try to deviate from that. But just let me know what you plan on purchasing. But let's say the next day comes as you guys retreat back into your the place of stay, which is back into Lucky Stump, as you guys, you know, partake in, you know, the last evenings, like dinner and drinks, as you guys turn in for the night again. The next day, Theo, so you make your way back to Carmichael's little home, his abode where he stays, and underneath in the cellar where his workshop is located. You begin to work with him and Voxy again. Go ahead and make your rolls, as well as
Wait.
what's his name? Cedric as well. Yeah. Cedric as well asks if you need assistance.
Oh, I was gonna play it because when he goes there, the first thing he does, he goes to Voxy and he's like looking in her eyes, like really close. He's like, guide me with your energy.
So I'll cast that, but at the same time say, Papa.
Just said Papa. Papa? Me? No.
So when that happens, am I muted? No, I'm not muted, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when that happens, Cedric jumps. Oh, does that just talk?
Yes, it did. It did. We're getting closer.
He like grabs his face, like his cheeks, and like bunches it up. But
we're so close.
It's a functional automaton that talks. This is incredible. Where did you find it? Did you create it?
No. I wish I were that adept, but no, we found her.
Fascinating. And he's like more into her and like looking around and looking at her parts and trying to figure out what this is. And go ahead and roll with advantage, I'm assuming? No, it's with an added D4, I'm sorry. So
added
now you
D4.
roll.
Come on. Let's do it.
You can ask for assistance too.
I'm asking assistance of
With Cedric?
Cedric, yes.
Okay,
of
so you
course,
can roll
yeah.
with advantage and an extra d4 at the end of the roll.
If this doesn't do it, I don't know what will. Okay, 19.
19.
Do I
Go
need
ahead.
to roll the? Let's do it. Let's do it. 21.
21 altogether?
No, 22.
22, okay. So you, with the assistance of Cedric, you managed to figure out the patterns of how Voxie's torso and you know, basically all her parts. You figure out the ways of, I'm losing word exactly how to explain this. Essentially, you figure out ways to remove certain things without disrupting the overall integrity of Voxie is herself. You know, being that you feel like Voxie already has her integrity has vulnerabilities because the form that the way that you found her with, what you would imagine like centuries that that she had been there. You managed to pull apart certain areas of just her the mechanics of her chest, and you can see behind what looks like in the core, sitting right in the center of her, you could see that there is a brilliant sliver, the size of like a walnut. You can see what looks like not that vibrant green that you're used to with the Mikra. You see what looks like a teal colored stone, the size of a walnut, encased with shifting sphere of different tiers over it. And every time it shifts, you can see the stone exposed every so often when this sphere just keeps turning over other spheres. You can tell that there are layers of spheres on top of spheres, and the spheres itself has opened areas, and the way it moves is very much like a pattern. Like it's very much designed. It doesn't just move at random sporadic movements. Along with that, you can see that the sphere that is attached to her center, her core, you can see that parts of inside that looks like there are these kind of like fiber optics. And kind of like the way they look, it almost looks like fiber optics kind of being like pulling energy from this core of her. And then you can see Cedric is just he looks white, like pale. Like you can see his little tiny gnome form just looking in awe of what's before him, and he's just looking at you and then looking back at Voxie. What nature of discovery is this? I cannot say. And you just see him look. He pulls a paper and he's like scribbling things down, looking at her.
And he grabs the gnome like by the neck, like sternly. It's like, you must not speak of this. This is a secret among pioneers. You understand, right?
Right. Of course. I mean, last thing we want is inquisitors knocking on my door.
That's right.
This is definitely of an ancient manner.
Let me just try one thing. And he's kind of going to get in there with his hand tool and just try to see if because he's is he understanding a little bit more how it works just by seeing it now, and at this point sees what needs to be done in order to just kind of get her in gear, kind of thing?
With that Tinker's tool at 22, you're developing a sense of understanding. You feel like there's definitely more things you need to understand, but there is a sense of you're figuring things out as you're kind of going along, seeing her core at this point, and perhaps you can figure out like, okay, I know how her core looks, I know how her core is giving power, and this is possibly how I can, fix the rest of her with, with this knowledge, and knowing that I can, have her operational in terms of having articulations with her arms or legs, and like a lot of things starts kind of rolling through your mind, and you're putting pieces together as you're looking at all these different, factors that you're discovering at this moment, for sure.
And he wants, I think, what is happening, if you allow, is that he is doing one last kind of shift to the core with his tool, and that is kind of that moment. There's like a shot of energy on his hand tool, and like just burns his arm. Like what happens is he's just gonna nudge it to like, because he feels like he's just making an assumption that this will fix it and like do the start of the engine,
So you're are you insinuating you want to kind of try to get to the core itself within
not
Voxy?
Disturb it, but yeah, like with the hand tool, because I have a feeling that it will just jumpstart the engine, so to speak.
Okay. I mean, you can see. I mean, the core is moving. Like you could see, it's definitely active, and that's how you feel. Like this is how you, as you envision, as you're looking at the core, you feel that this core started moving when Voxy woke up.
Hello?
Am I muted?
No. He's leaning over like Voxy's countenance.
Oh, you like again in her core?
In the core, and then like looking at her face to see
Right.
if there's any change.
Yeah, it's just pulsing. You can see that walnut like size crystal in the middle of her core, and underneath that moving sphere, like spherical like components. As you get closer, you feel this sense of energy coming from pulsating from the core the closer you get.
I need to know what else do I need to do. Is there something I need to like shift into place? I feel it pulsating, right? So
yeah, you could see it pulsating for sure, and you could feel it. You know what?
Give me a puzzle or something.
No, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a intelligence check. Just straight intelligence.
Ah!
I believe in you.
And
what was that, Misty?
I said I believe in you.
So he okay, so I rolled 16.
16. You suspect that the energy coming from her core is of that of transference. transference. Like there is this transference of energy within her core. And whatever is contacting is in contact with her core is what's kind of spreading the energy, kind of like a battery.
Okay, so yeah, he's gonna go in there with his tool.
Okay.
And just kind of shove or just nudge that core, that
You gonna touch the core?
Yeah.
Touch your core.
I'm gonna touch her core. Give her my essence.
All right. Go ahead and you know what? Go ahead and roll a. Go roll a sleight of hand at this point. Now because there's this sphere that kind of goes over it, and it's just like shoom, shoom. There's like there's like moments. Yeah, there's like moments where it's like exposed and it's not exposed because of the spheres that kind of like
you can't just
her.
go in there just ramming things in there. You gotta like finesse your way in there.
There you go.
Got it. All right, let's go, Theo. Look into her eyes and let's do it. Yeah. That's
right.
When I call you Papa.
As soon as you time it properly and that moment where you see the pattern of timing as the moment where everything lines up with all the spheres where you can finally have contact with that. As soon as you get ever so near it, there's a moment where you've like just see white. It's like a flash. Voxy, you see Theo tinkering with like your chest as you're kind of looking down towards him. It's like that moment where someone touches something that is highly volatile in electricity, where Theo flies back a good 15 feet, crashing into the other table and the other components in a very violent manner. He just gets shot across the room, like 15 feet. You could see Cedric, the little gnome, and he's just going crazy, like, oh no! And you could see him running towards him, and he's like trying to shake Theo. Theo, you feel pain all over your body. As your eyes open, as your eyes open, you can see like the rest of your limbs and especially your hands. You can see smoke coming out, like you can see parts of your hands, like the hairs in your arms singe off. Your nails and where you're holding the tool, you can see like the nails, like in the very bottom of it, like closer to like in the cuticle, you can see it's dark. And you get up and you just have like this urge to, like, not urge, you feel stiff, like you feel like if you ran for a long time and your body kind of locks up after a while, like if your body's running through like battery acid, when you start losing that, like when you feel like that high dehydration starts coming across you with your body, your whole body just aches with that. And you look down, you can see that Cedric is there trying to wake you and trying to help you. Oh, he lives. Oh, how stupid can you be? You don't even know what that was.
I needed to understand it better. I needed to feel it, and I felt it. Ow! Ow! Did it work?
You can throw in basically all the invention. I say the crafting nature of your artificer has been born. from
Yeah.
from the aspect of having touching something that you don't have any good understanding to yet. But yes, we can say this is a new chapter as knowledge starts pouring in your mind. As you blank out and you start seeing things that you didn't see before, you start seeing ideas and you start seeing the patterns of how things can work. In not just the mechanical aspect, but also in the aspect of the arcane. As you start to figure out certain things that you've encountered in your past and starting to understand them now.
It's all coming back to me.
So I'm going to say this is going to take your majority of the day for that aspect. And perhaps the next day you can start working even more on Voxy for sure. The next day, for this next day, May and Hellscream, and Voxy, by the way, you begin to have more articulations in speech as, whatever Theo had done probably had improved the nature of how your core is giving energy through your mechanical body. It's a series of good rolls on his part.
Yeah.
And you begin to understand again this language that you had forgotten. May, anything you want to do particular this next day?
Good part of the day, I'm gonna just paint.
Okay.
Work on that scroll.
All right, so you can just basically work on. Excuse me. Go ahead and roll a.
I do have.
You have a kit for it or something like that?
This.
Oh, okay. Proficiency with your. So I'm gonna say with advantage, go ahead and roll Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand.
A 9.
Okay, a 9. You're still trying to get used to the brush. You're still getting used to the paint, the way it settles, and the way you have to dilute it, and and trying to get that right color. You're not really satisfied with your, with just your first practice run with the paint itself, but you feel in due time you probably get the results you're looking for. But for as of right now, you feel like it can be better. Hellscream, I know I saw you. Yeah, you already kind of went for all the stuff you were looking for. I know you did that aspect. But what do you do for the next day if
Hellscream sleeps.
Hellscream sleeps. All right.
Takes a nice little day to himself.
A little day. All right. So, that being said, we're gonna move on to the next day. Theo, we're gonna go right back at the workshop.
All right. So, was Cedric? Was he successful in the limbs?
No, he had helped you instead.
Okay.
He assisted you for this time instead of doing the other aspect.
Oh man, it's a big roll.
You guys, both of you spent a good amount of time like removing parts from Voxy, carefully trying to make sure you guys, you didn't disrupt things that you were trying not to, and there's a lot of intricacy that worked that took place, doing that, and especially exposing the core. Is Mike die?
Did I spent the whole day? Is this now the next day? Kind of.
This
Did I
is the
sleep
third
over?
day, right?
I mean,
if you could have slept over, because your way back at this point, going back to the Lucky Stump, coming back here.
Okay. I in the when I go to check on Voxy again, then I'm kind of looking at her face and her eyes. Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
What's your
What's
name?
your name?
My name is Theo.
My name is Theo.
No.
No.
I look at Cedric.
I think it's a mimic machine.
Mimic machine.
Well, I say.
Well, it's a start.
Right.
Perhaps we need to do more work.
You know, as much as I want to stick around and, discover with you, I do have a job I need to attend to. It appears that, I do have customers. I do have to make a living.
So, what do you suggest?
Well,
You know I can't leave this here. I have to finish.
you can stay here and work on her while I head off and, take care of my business, and I can return, hopefully in due time, in helping with, further your research and fixing your friend here.
Fine. But remember, not a word.
Right. Not a word. I was there when, the last execution. I know what is at stake.
Very good.
Well, good luck, and try not to, kill yourself once again. Yes. He walks off. You can see he's, grabbing, his little tools here and there. It leaves you.
Cool.
So, what are you trying to accomplish now?
Now I'm just trying to I gotta put her legs at least.
All right. So, as you look at her legs, you do notice that there are parts that that are missing. There are areas that you need material for to complete the rest of her. And this aspect, you feel like you might have to spend some coinage now, to get things that can assist you with, building parts of the leg to complete it properly, and also things that you might need to pertain for the power aspect of making sure that her, not only is she gonna have legs, but also the fact that whatever cord does completes its path, kind of like a nervous system almost.
Sure. And do I see anything in the shop here that might be useful, or is it something I have to go to a blacksmith to?
You would think I'm gonna say before you even came to this place, you would have sought out things. Let's let's say from being that you guys Hellscream, there are parts from that blacksmith you might need within material and stuff like that. For that aspect, you're gonna spend about 45 gold just to material wise.
Okay.
And this is the aspect of both the legs essentially.
Okay. Would I foresee that any extra would need to be paid for the arms? The arms are intact. Arms are intact. It's just connecting it.
This is one arm, so that other arm would give you another 10 gold for that one. It isn't ruined like the legs are. The legs are pretty ruined. The other arm is just detached.
Okay.
She only has one articulating arm right now.
Gotcha. Okay. So then, I guess about 55 gold. So I go to the blacksmith.
Yeah, you'd say you procured certain materials. It's not just raw metal. There's other aspects to it as well that you're looking for. And there's different types of metals, not just steel. There's also parts of copper, and there's parts of what was the other one that I was? I mean, steel, copper, and let's say like certain variations of tin that you might use for like certain areas, you know, for mobility or whatever. So you come back and you're already here with the material. So your attempt to get her legs working. You're gonna do another Tinker's Tool check. This one, being that you don't have help from Cedric, is gonna be on your own with just a normal roll. If you, depending how bad you fail, you may lose the material.
Oh my god, guidance.
So right now we're just doing the legs. The legs alone, like both legs, are gonna take the majority of your day. So you have guidance. Go ahead and roll.
I do. Let's do it.
Go ahead and roll Tinker's Tool. Tinker's Kit.
Oops. 16 and
16. It was a
a
frustrating.
19.
Oh, that's plus the 4, right? So 19 altogether with the D4. Okay, 19. Much better. I thought we were gonna settle. I thought we were setting on 16. 19.
Sorry, I didn't do the D4.
No worries. 19. You managed to hop through certain hurdles and there was a bit of frustration for the majority of the day, but you managed to figure out things that should work and could work, and with this new knowledge that you had gained. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't you benefit from doing certain things as a tinker as well in your craft? As not a tinker, as a
Artificer.
as a first level artificer, yeah.
I have magical tinkering.
Right. Go ahead and post that real quick because I believe there's something there. Okay. Tinkers, artisans, and tiny non-magical objects.
This is more of like an ability for like little things I could do.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay. 25 words. Text. Okay.
Trying to see what you're referring to that pertains to artificers.
The number of objects you can affect. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I get magical tinkering feature, 2 cantrips, 2 first level spell slots, and proficiency in thief tools.
So you were there was this moment where you thought you were gonna lose the build. Like there was a point where you thought this whole day was probably wasted, as this dread comes upon you. There's a moment, Foxy, that you see Theo in this state of frustration, and you can tell that there is this troublesome with what he's trying to accomplish. Though he rolled pretty well. Go ahead and roll in your part, Foxy. Go ahead and roll a wisdom check.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said check and not save. Oh,
Oh, okay. I see what you did. So we can use the first roll, but -2 because instead of a 5, it's a 3. So that is a 19 as well. So there's this moment, Foxy, that you see that Theo is possibly on the verge of like not accomplishing what he's trying to do. And at this moment, as you see what he's doing, and you can feel the rest of your core, the rest of your being, and then there's this dread of memory loss as you reach down and try to pull things that you've lost from your past, and knowledge, and even your essence of power. And as you dig deep, as you close your mechanical eyes and push real hard, Theo, where you failed, you see Voxy at this point, where her legs are supposed to meet with the rest of her body and towards her torso. Where you failed, you see a surge of energy coming from Voxy, and this energy, much like the wild, what's that power called again? The wild shape. It's Druidcraft. It's kind of like Druidcraft. You could see like this what looks like tendrils of wood that seem to spring out of life begin to reach towards the legs you've created, and you can see how these tendrils, these vines, essentially these thick, lively vines, begin to enwrap and envelop and then twist and protrude through these legs as it starts to grow through all the way down to these new mechanical legs that you're presenting her. As Voxy, you begin to feel an extension of yourself, as everything pretty much becomes covered in this vine-like substance coming from her. It almost looks like that vine that whipped out of her when you guys pulled her from the grass. Like when you pulled her, because remember when you guys pulled her out, there's like these vines that kind of retracted into her, and you can see now that retraction coming back out as it wraps around these legs. As Foxy, you look down and you can see, like, you look at your feet and you can see you're moving your feet, like you're like towards your ankles, and you can feel your knees, you can feel the rest of your legs right now.
Did his tool break?
No. You talking about the tool that that he was using before? As far as, no, it's kind of like holding a piece of metal to like something. That's what happened earlier. Like a piece of electricity. So he just got shocked and shot back.
But the actual hand tool now is kind of the source of the magic now. It's transferred into that tool.
So another aspect, the hand tool itself has like a little tiny sliver of Mikra on it, and you can see that little tiny sliver of Mikra just glow, similar to this effect that the core glows like this. It's not green, it's more of that teal color. It's like this light blue green color.
Nice.
She's moving her feet. She can walk. Go ahead.
And he tries to like guide her legs to the floor and sit her up.
Do I still only have one arm?
Yeah, he just worked on your legs. And this happened pretty much like the whole day of him like getting everything properly together. Like he got all the materials, like including for your arm, but he only worked on your legs because of the time that he had. As he mentions that you can, you look down, Foxy, and you can feel you basically moving your legs independently, each one as an extension to yourself.
So my legs are now covered in vines, right?
It's the vines kind of took over the legs. The legs still look very much of what he created, but there are certain parts where you could see vines in areas, like kind of.
Maybe it was like the metal, the metal's kind of like skeleton, around. And like the vines kind of created around the skeleton of the
somewhat, yeah,
the metal, yeah.
And the vines are not normal. They're very much that of it's hard to it's not, it doesn't look like just vines where you have, like these leaves everywhere. These vines are very much closer to like flexible wood that you manage to just wrap around, and it almost looks like muscle in a sense. Like the legs he created, there's parts of it that has like some metal and some wood, but like whatever you did on your end made it seem like there's muscle that looks like it's made out of wood in like various areas of the legs now. It's very similar to how your arm looks, that there are like this area where you could see like hardened areas, and then underneath that hardened area you could see like there's patterns that very much mimic muscles, but in the sense of like these vines that you have. As you now have capability, as you scoot over and you bring your legs down carefully, there's this moment where you almost don't know what you're doing, as you almost feel like you're about to tip over, and then it just comes naturally back to you as you put both your feet off, on the ground, propping yourself up, standing erected.
As I do that, I'm also going to cast Druidcraft with each like step that I take to do little like tiny little white flowers around my feet, like where my footprint would be.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, just like a couple.
Oh, that's beautiful. So peaceful. I wonder what you were made for. Were you a gardening machine or something? I just can't wait to see what you can do.
Can
you understand me?
Understand me.
Well, your receptor knowledge and capabilities are working. Let's have you lay back down, and he kind of guides her back down to the table.
All right, and that's gonna be the majority of your day in that aspect. Hellscream, what is it? What else would you like to do instead of sleeping for the? I know you wanted to sleep for the other day. For the second day, that is.
What's this, like day 3, day 4?
This is day 3.
Day 1, blacksmith and shopping. Day 2, to myself. Day 3, I want to go check up on Theo.
Okay, yeah, you managed to come there like right in time, as you see Theo, talking to Voxy, and as you can see Voxy now walking around.
And Theo kind of gives him a thumbs up, like,
It seems you fixed your toy.
She is more than a toy, my friend. There is so much more to discover. I am a...
Look! And he shows him his hand tool. Look at this! And it's like got this little sliver of greenish blue energy on it.
I can do magic. I don't know what I've yet to learn how to use it, but there's a source, and because of her, it all came together. I still have work to do, as you can see.
Okay. I'll leave you to it. Wanted to make sure you were okay.
Thank you, my friend. Why don't you find a place where we can have some fish?
Yes.
We're gonna need this a nice meal to celebrate. Huh?
Yeah.
And being that this is a river town, finding a place with fish is not hard. That's gonna be the pretty much whatever you're gonna do. Hellscream for this day.
Find a dinner spot.
All right, you find a couple of them. Some of them with the more of the upper echelon of class. But then there's the others that are just more your everyday, your commoners or sailors that come by with with their like rustle and tumble kind of districts of where it's more your class of like hardy people and not the snob likes that you probably want to avoid, but easy to find all over. May, what are you gonna do for your third day?
She's kind of antsy, so she's gonna find some entertainment, like pit fighting or something like that.
All right. Go ahead and roll an investigation check as you kind of looking around trying to figure out stuff.
17.
17. As you do go around, you do manage to go back to the eastern district and more of the slums area. And you manage to find you manage to get information of this secretive pit face place where you understand that it's a manner of those that want to put in wagers and make money, and this is like an opportunity that you probably might want to partake in contending. This is at late night at this point, as that as the information you gathered would be you would only have access to this place and when it does take place, it will be at night. This is also information you can share with the rest of them, as towards the end of the day, majority of them would come back to the Lucky Stump. So I don't know if you want to partake with the rest of your group, or you're gonna basically go on your own.
I'm just giving them the heads up that this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And it's their decision whether or not they want to join.
All right. Hellscream, and Theo and Voxy. So May had presented, what she's going to be doing, and I guess it's more or less an invitation to tag along. Do you guys tag along? I'm assuming thumbs up for Theo.
Well, that's for the fourth day, or it's at late.
This is the third night. This is
the third night.
Yeah.
Okay, so I already had just kind of spend the day working there.
Right.
And I'm just kind of, yeah, sure. I think for the night, I would have came, probably have a drink with Hellscream.
Right. This point, relax. When you're coming back to the Lucky Stump, the fact that now Voxy can roam around and walk, there's a sense of like trying to make sure that she doesn't cause too much attention, because she looks like now.
I think I would have cloaked her, so that way she's like a hooded figure, more like a I mean, I guess I would have treated her like she's like a servant or something, like a ward, like very protective and
Okay, so Voxy,
I think that would be Theo, the way to play it. Yeah.
Yeah, Theo starts draping you with a large cloak, as it's covering the majority of your features at this point, as he throws over the hood from the cloak. There is also this glowing illumination from her eyes that it's unsettling, unfortunately, and it's kind of hard to figure out what you want to do in that aspect. But as long as she keeps her head down, in certain aspects, it'll be hard to notice it. So late at night, you guys manage to wander all together towards the Eastern District. And based on the information that you have had procured, you see that this area is just as sketchy as as you remember coming through originally, but now you're wandering through certain back alleys and a twisting aspect of making left and right turns, and you managed to find this new area that you've never been to before, but based on the information you've gotten, you're in the right place, as you do see some of the indications that were placed in every turn. You can see that there are markings that you were to look for, and then you managed to find a door, and this door has this marking of what looks like a hatch and a circle around it, and at the same time it looks like there is a what looks like a ribbon, like a hard scraped ribbon, but that's kind of like what you kept looking for with all these symbols that were etched on, like by chalk or probably paint, like different variations of it. But when you get to the door, you see that there is an emblem of that itself, and this door, you can see that there is a sliding, like a slit, about eye level. This door seemed to be very heavy, as you could see. There are some reinforcements around it as well.
I knock on the door.
As soon as you knock on it, you see the slit open up. You can see what looks like a gnarly looking face, with a really dark skin looking behind, from behind it, and it's looking back and forth at the rest of you. What's your business?
I wish to participate.
Participate in what?
And then I pull out a couple, like 3 marks towards him.
He grabs the marks. You see him look down, inspecting from the other side. You see the thing closed. Takes about 10 seconds, 15 seconds. You hear the unlocking of the mechanisms behind it. The door opens. The rest of these participating too? See, looking at Theo, Hellscream. Hellscream, this guy is tall, just like you are. Make a perception check, Hellscream. You do notice that there are these striations around his neck, and you do see that he is part of of one of the lesser tribes and clans from back home. And as he looks at you, and then just squares you, just looks you up and down, and then he goes back, talking to the rest of them. So what is it? The rest of you participating as well?
I'm just observing, if that's okay.
All right. You pay up as well.
How much? 3 marks?
Yeah, let's make it 3 marks. Why not?
What?
And for the
How
rest
much
of
does
you,
she pay? Damn it. I'm
He's looking
paying
at-
what she's paying.
he's looking at the rest of you guys too. He's looking at Voxy, even though he can't really see her features. He's looking at you, Hellscream. You as well, if you want to enter.
In our language, I tell him I'm not paying.
As you say so, and he looks at you. And he talks right back in the same language. He says, well, you're not paying, you stay out here then. Don't think you're coming in.
Is there any way? I want to see how I could word this.
The what?
Him being from like a lesser clan, I kind of want to like intimidate him with like my status in a sense.
Go ahead and make an intimidation check. And what would you say at this point, if that's the case?
If we were back at home, the fee would be blood.
Go ahead and make a intimidation check. It's just a normal roll.
20.
20. He looks at you. Your status don't reach far back from home. We are nowhere near home. Though I see the mightiness in the clans, perhaps where you come from. But bond is bond, and payment is due. If you wish to come in, the payment must be met. I don't make the rules.
I give him 1 mark.
You give him 1 mark with him, like, knowing it's just 1 mark?
Yeah.
Oh, he just looks at it. And he's holding his hand up, waiting for the rest as that 1 mark is on top of his hand.
I put 2 marks for Voxy and me. And I put my hand on Hellscreen's shoulder and kind of raise my eyebrow.
Wait, you pay how much? You pay the extra 2 marks?
I give two marks for Voxy and me. So it's 1 mark each. I'm paying the same as everybody else. But I'm doing it because Hellscream is there.
There's a moment, I mean, with that high intimidation, he looks at you. Alright. I'll let you in this time. Let's consider this just a first-timer's fee. Comes back. This time he's not like in front of the door. He's a wide guy, so he makes room for the rest of you to go in now. As you guys begin to wander in this dark corridor, as you start to walk down these flights of stairs, you met with like other dark chambers, and you can hear slowly you can start hearing people like murmuring, like a lot of people, and you can start hearing like people shouting from like different from like a wall behind. As you continue on the same corridor, you see that there's another door, and then there's another 2 individuals. These 2 are just human with just really thick wool caps, like kind of like your newsy caps, and wearing just a dirty shirt with suspenders, thick suspenders over them, with dark trousers. You can see these guys are big guys, both of them wearing like fingerless gloves, as they look at you like square you're looking, basically just observing the ones that are coming through, and they just make way essentially for you to pass through. As behind them you can see double doors, as they both push it open as they get out the way, and you can hear the roar of like different crowds from left and right. And you can see that as you enter, you can see what looks like a small little arena. In the middle is a pit all the way in the bottom that sits maybe a good 10 to almost 15 feet down, and everywhere around you can see that there's levels, like these tiers of where all these onlookers are basically looking down, shouting, and you can see in the middle where you can see two different figures just slapping each other with fists, as you can see blood, just spraying in one side. Both of them looks to be a larger male, very much similar to the two that were letting you through. One of them with just a really squared off chin with a little bit of scruff on the bottom. You could see the other one a little older, but you could see that there's more weatheredness, and you could see that he's the veteran between the two, as he's taking control of the fight. As now you are in a bustling menagerie of people that are shouting and betting, drinking, all sorts of nature. There's a little bit of pornification having on one side, with women kind of dressed a certain way, and trying to get attention to some of the patrons in there. What do you guys do? You guys are now in this underground small facility with a bunch of sketchy individuals having grand old time. There's also like music happening like on one side of like the upper tiers as well. You can hear a band just kind of going at it, adding to the ambience, and you can hear the cracking of fists like just going across people. Like you can hear echoing from the middle of this of the sand pit below.
I try to find me a seat so I can clearly look down at the arena.
All right. It's kind of hard to find seats. I mean, for the most part, the seats are being tossed around in terms of just being kicked out of the way, because people are really more just standing up, looking down, screaming, or just standing, drunkenly just talking amongst each other. And I mean, the seats that do exist are like all the way in the upper area before going down the tiers. And you can see that there is a bar on one side, and those are like usually where you can see seats, but it's kind of hard from that area to like look down into the pit. So if you want to look down like into it, you would have to like stand up with the rest of the crowd that's kind of gathered around.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I'm gonna do.
Right. What are the rest of you gonna do now that you guys are seeing this craziness going on? Voxy, you just seeing like violence happening, and you're just kind of figuring out, trying to piece together what's happening down below.
At this point, I'm very protective of Voxy. I'm just kind of with her, but I'm just getting a drink and just relaxing, kind of just enjoying a change of pace for me.
All right. So you're just kind of hanging out. You're sticking next to Voxy, make sure that you're just kind of around her for just to avoid anything in case something might happen. Very much a rowdy set of people, like being in a crowd during a concert. There's like shifting of motion of people like everywhere. Like there's like a large group of people pushing into like another large group of people, like looking down onward. What was that? Hellscream, you were gonna say something?
No, I was yawning. Sorry.
All right. And Hellscream is doing what exactly?
Looking for the bookies.
Looking for the bookies, which is pretty simple. As you could see, people holding marks in their hands, and you can see like some of them shouting. There's one individual that is like collecting and shouting back at others within a certain area. You can see a bunch of other people, other individuals heading towards that direction, and with marks in their hands, trying to put in as well. This you can see this person has long chops on the sides, and the rest kind of clean. Maybe within his mid 30s, maybe later than that, or older than that. And you can see that he's well groomed, and hair, like his hair is slicked, to the side in a very dapper manner. And he's wearing just a waistcoat with a shirt underneath, like a white shirt, and the trousers are more of a lighter variety with you look upon the guy, you can see that he's definitely well off compared to like most people in here. But there are a mixture of like those that are probably from the area, and probably some that are well off. Not necessarily, that of nobility, but you can tell that they have enough to at least keep themselves looking much more presentable. You reach towards the guys. You push through. How much you putting through?
Oh, I'm waiting for me to fight.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just want to know where he was at.
Gotcha.
So you said the women here are looking for men, getting their attention. Are you inferring that they're prostitutes?
Let's say, because Voxy's probably not gonna figure that out.
No, but are they scandalous looking?
They do seem very provocative. You can't really tell if they are prostitutes or not, or
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna like mimic their behavior a little. Like if they put their shoulder down, I'm gonna expose my shoulder.
You're gonna like from the cloak, you can expose your shoulder.
Oh yeah.
While Theo's like right next to you, and you notice Voxy's like mimicking and looking at the female counterparts, and she's like, you see her posture totally change in the way she moves, and then she just like takes part of her cloak off.
Whoa. And he covers her back, and he's just like writing in his notes about the behavior. Interesting.
So
I should not put you near these kind of crowds if you're going to do these things.
while you are on looking, and May, I know you're just kind of observing everything, you see that the older guy right now is just getting the upper hand as he cracks the other guy with an elbow, and then followed by like a headbutt as he knocks the guy out. The younger one, as he's laying sprawled on the floor, on the sand pit, right? Actually, as the crowd just goes nuts, and you can see a lot of them are just like being, like some of them are pissed off and cursing, and some of them are just cheering and collecting as they go back to the bookies, turning in their tickets that was presented to them when they threw in, and you see this one guy coming in the pit as he jumps in, and with one of those cones for projecting voice, as he holds it up, and he just goes, Tabor once again, the destroyer has won, and everybody's just going nuts, and as he's there presenting the winner, and he looks around. Who else would be daresome enough to lock fists with Tabor the Destroyer?
How far up am I?
You're good 15 feet. It's not really like really deep down. It's just it's just tiers and levels of like parts of it has like stairs. Like there's certain areas with stairs, but there's certain areas that are barriers. You ever been to like medieval times?
No.
Okay. There's like these barriers in every tier, essentially. But these barriers are about 5 feet tall, so it's like up to your waist. Not 5 feet, like 4 feet.
No,
Sorry.
I'm about to say, damn. Shit,
Yeah,
that's
it's like about like it's almost 4 feet each barrier. It's not like it's not you could just walk down in any aspect, but there are parts of it that are exposed for you to walk down like a staircase.
I'm gonna walk down, try to get down there.
All right. As the rest of you guys now begin to see May start heading down into the pit itself, and then you see the one that made the announcement. So that basically looks like he's the host essentially. Looks over to you. Lass, I think you're getting kind of lost, lass. The men are up there if you want to go and, entertain them.
But they're not entertaining as he is.
Smooth.
Right. Are you insinuating you want to, you want to fight him?
That is exactly what I'm insinuating.
You see Tabor, like this older human now, looking at you. As you can see behind him, a couple of people are like dragging the other guy that was like knocked out, and he's like looking at him, at the other guy, the one that's announcing. Hey, Kane. I don't mind playing with my meat before I eat it. Go ahead. Let her in. You see the smile coming from the announcer now? We have a new contestant! What's your name, lass? As he goes towards you.
Call me Sparrow.
Right. Sparrow! The blind lass will be contending against Tabor! Would you believe it? A woman come to challenge the great destroyer. Pay up. Put your bets in. And everybody just starts going crazy, throwing money like towards the bookie right now. As he's there calling like individuals, giving out tickets in return, taking money back from them. Theo, I mean not Theo, Hellscream, I know you wanted to participate. What are you gonna do at this point?
I'm putting down. I am putting down 6 platinums on May.
6 platinum. As you bring these bright silverish or platinum looking coins towards the bookie, and he looks at you. All right. And he just writes down with a little piece of like a pencil onto this little piece of paper. As he gives it to you, you can see that there is a number, like a unique stamped number. Like it looks like it was made by like a press. And then there's the number of currency, basically how much you threw in, and for who essentially as you provide it for May or for the Sparrow.
Yes.
And Theo, same.
I put 30 marks on the Sparrow.
All right. As you in return get a ticket. There's this moment where everybody's just quiet and just onlooking down towards May and Tabor. In this moment, May, you can almost hear your heartbeat as it just got quiet for a quick moment. But it's more like along the lines of just you focusing while you're at the pit, because the pit is enclosed the way it is. You do feel like you are separated from the rest of them. And Tabor looks at you. There's a playful smirk on his end, as he begins to crack his neck and crack his knuckles. Don't worry, lass. I'm gonna take it easy on you. In the beginning, that is, at least. And the announcer guy finally gets out of the pit at that point as he closed the door behind him. And as he does, someone on the upper tier slams a bell. King! go ahead and roll initiative. Let's see. Let's put your character. As a matter of fact, just go ahead and roll initiative on your end. Don't even worry about the turn order on the. Yeah. All right, 18. So you go first as you see Tabor right now just cracking and just taking his sweet time. And he brings up his arms, his thick, muscular like arms. For this old man, he stands probably a good, like 5'10", almost 6 feet tall. This guy's just a thick, burly, older person. What do you do?
I'm gonna make my way in, just trying to move around and try to hit onto the sides.
All right. As you begin to square up and you start turning, as both of you are just kind of looking at each other, walking around in a circular motion, looking at each other within the pit. And that moment he's there cracking, you catch him off guard as you rush forward with 3 attacks. Bang, bang, bang. Like each one just hitting like each side of his rib cage, and the other one as he tries to duck out of the way as you crack across his face. As he takes 27 fucking damage on that first couple of strikes. There is that sense of like his face change with shock and pain as he looks onward towards you.
Yeah, so I kind of like just scoot back, but I'm like keeping my feet moving. Waiting for him to attack.
And then he just looks at you, and he just wipes his big thick like hands across his face as he's removing like the blood that basically started coming from the side of his lip. All right, that's what we're gonna do then. That's how we play. Everybody at this point around, like after like the first 2 cracks is like whoa, and then the last one as the last one cracks, your fist cracks like through his face. Everyone just goes nuts like around, and it's immense like reaction of like surprise and awe at the same time. As at that point, Tabor just lunges towards you for like a grab at this point. And he rolls a natural 2, so I'm sure it's gonna be very low compared to your. Go ahead and roll a. It's gonna be a grapple, so go ahead and roll either an athletics check or a acrobatics check to avoid it.
13.
As for acrobatics, as you just tumble, just with ease, like out of his way as you end up to the side of him. Go ahead and roll initiative again, as now both of you just reacting to that motion. He rolls a
6.
4 plus 2 on his, so you beat him with a .16 as you both rolled 6 at the same time. Go ahead. It's as you roll towards the one side, you and he exposes his left flank.
Yeah, so I'm going to get an extra attack, and then I'm going to burn a key point to do 2 more for flurry of blow.
Oh boy. Oh, that's not what I was trying to do. Let's do this. Boom, boom. There we go. All right, what do we get?
13, 26, 14, 13.
All right, so the 13 misses as you swing forward on his exposed side. The 26 follows up with with just a rising kind of uppercut as you clip him onto the side, dealing 6 damage. And then you follow through with a couple of more blows, trying to aim towards his torso. And at this point, he's just blocking the last 2 strikes, 14 and 13, as he deflects your hands, looking onward towards you, squaring up. Only the 26 strikes.
Okay.
As he comes in with almost like a Superman punch with a 14 to hit.
Misses.
As he comes through and then follow through with another backhand right after the Superman punch that he dealt with. That is going to be a 16 to hit.
That does hit.
As you get cracked for... that is going to be a 7 bludgeoning damage as you caught the back fist off that first strike. Roll initiative again as both of you react to another strike. He rolls a 4.
8.
8 as you react quicker than he does as he's trying to look like he's trying to do like another grab. What do you do?
I'm going to duck under his grab and strike him again.
All right. Followed through with another
15, crit 27, and a 23.
Woo! 15 just hits. Ooh, excuse me. 15 just hits as you follow through right before he lunges towards you. As you sidestep with a short elbow right into the side of like his kidney, as stuns him for a quick second. Oh, and he looks at you, just out of pure just disbelief that you caught him off guard as you stun him. And for that moment, when you see him dazed for that quick second, as the kidney shot follows through, you come down with the other elbow. With him just not even moving, as the elbow just strikes right across the side of his face, hitting its temple, as you deal another, 14 damage, as he comes down to the ground and like picks himself up again, and as he picks himself up, you just knee him like right into the side as he's getting up, as he tumbles over to like towards the end of the wall on the sandpit, he looks rough at this point. That's it, lass. I was gonna go easy on you. You're gonna pay with your life. He just runs over. With a natural 20 for the first strike as he comes through. Following up with a second strike with a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
The natural 20... you take 12 bludgeoning damage as the first one just strikes right across. You can feel the strain in your neck as your head just flies over to one side. Followed up with the second strike for a 6 to hit. 6 bludgeoning damage.
Sparrow, 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 Sparrow.
Sparrow.
There's like there's like 3 or 4 of them like starts chanting next to you, Theo. He's like, yeah, Sparrow, 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 and then one of them is like chanting Sparrow. He's like, yeah, Sparrow, I'm gonna lose money. Sparrow. He's just going along with it anyway. Roll initiative once again as the next round starts over. Who reacts quicker?
16.
Wow, you beat him again. I rolled a 16 as well. As that follow up, as you feel searing pain right now from those 2 blows coming from him. It's your turn.
I'm going to do flurry of blows with these.
Right. What do we have?
11, 15, 16, and 21.
The last 3 definitely hits as you just come in. And now you just pretty much like imitating like Ip Man, like boom, boom, ta 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 ta. Like just a machine gun of blows coming towards him as like unexpected. As you could see him just taking each hit. 7, and 9. He looks dazed. As you can see, he's just standing by just a thread. He's keeping himself up. You can see one side he's like holding on to his rib cage with one arm, and the other arm is kind of slumped over. And then you see him kind of just trying to muster up and just charges at you again. This time he charges at you to kind of grab you, and another grapple check actually, as he rolls a natural 20, which is going to be 24 to his athletics check.
14.
As you feel his hands grab onto your shoulder, and he's grabbing onto like almost like a clinch on the back of your head, and he's gonna follow up with just like an uppercut while he's holding your other with his other arm, his thick hands like on the back of your head. He's gonna punch up with his other hand, and that is going to be a 7 to hit. Unfortunately,
Yes.
as he tries to come up with an uppercut while he's holding on to you, and it's at that moment you catch his hand, as he's looking at you. It's like disbelief once again as you're holding on to his hand right now, his thick, big ass fist, and you know your medium size, normal woman hand. It's kind of grabbing on, but he's looking at you with surprise of how much like strength and quickness you came up with holding on to it. What do? You right now grappled onto him.
I'm gonna try to break out of this grapple.
All right. Actually, you know what? Before you do that, let's roll initiative once again because the round was just over. He rolls a natural 1.
7.
Yeah, I've been rolling shit initiative. All right, you're up first as he's grappled on top of you. Go ahead and try to do what you got to do.
I guess I'm gonna acrobat my way out of it. No, I'll just athletics try to get out of it.
All right, and he's gonna
9.
roll. He's gonna roll an 11 actually. As he's still holding on to the clench, with your head kind of pushed down, while he's there trying to grab the other arm as well, over your head.
Try to attack while I'm grappled.
You can. What is your? Don't you have a feat? Something? Don't you have?
I have a grappler's feat.
Yeah. Let me see what it says again. I don't know if it's against other grapples, but I know on your grapple you can do, you have that advantage. Let's see what it says here. You have advantage on attack rolls. A creature you are grappling. So you are grappling with it, essentially. It doesn't say, grapple rolls. Creature you are grappling. I think that means you have to initialize the grappling now. That you are grappling because he's grappling you. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a disadvantage since it's kind of hard for you to try to get your momentum and your strikes in. All right, and you just went all out. So what is that? A 22? I'm sorry, an 18.
An 18, 12, and a 19.
All right, so the 18 and 19 definitely hits. As you feel his arms pushing down, and with that first strike, you come up grabbing onto that arm that's like on top of him, and you come up with an uppercut that strikes deep into his stomach, as you can feel your fist just dig like into his body. And with that strike, there's that moment where he lets go of his grapple, and there's this a good moment of blood just pouring from his mouth on that one strike, and he looks dazed for the coup de grace. How you want to do this? And the last strike, as you put him down.
Same way he took out the other guy. I'm going to just headbutt him and break
As
his
you
nose.
follow up with an almighty force with your head tilting forward, with a big crunching motion towards him, as you feel every inch of his nose just give way underneath your forehead, and you can hear the crunch in this slow motion area where you see and feel not just his nose but also all the blood that kind of just gets poured down to your face. And as you open your eyes, you can see him sprawled on the ground, just laid out. And everybody just goes insane in this small space. Everyone's just yelling. People are just going crazy towards the bookies. People are pissed off, like throwing their tickets inside in the pit. As you can see, a lot of tickets just being thrown like inside. Some of them are like kind of like tapping and like, you know, pecking at you. But as you look up and you can just see the glory of like your moment of just taking care of like their prize fighter.
I do make sure, and I check on the guy just to make sure I didn't kill him.
Oh, he's just knocked out. Like there's like you could see his, like there's a couple of other guys coming in there, and there's one that's like pours water on him. The other one's like tapping his face and like just like shaking him, and his eyes open, and you can see like his eyes are just like looking up, and he's just out of it. As
I'm getting out of the arena.
As the announcer comes in, as you're trying to get out of the arena, the announcer, the host grabs onto your arm, and puts it up, and starts shouting, "The Sparrow! The Sparrow has taken care of the Destroyer! Give it up for the Sparrow!" And everyone's just right now just following through, just with their cheers and yells.
Sparrow, Sparrow, Sparrow.
And the chanting of the Sparrow come through even louder than before. As you guys collect your cash. What was that? You put down how many platinum again? 5?
6.
6?
Yeah, I was about to say, don't short me.
So you managed to cut, like you managed to get back not the platinum, because like you can see the guy like the platinum, he's like biting onto it and shit. He pocketed it, but he gave you back 120 marks. So you have like 120 marks now in your pocket. And the same thing with the extra 30 back to you, Theo. So you walk out of there with 60 as well from that fight. May, while the guy's like grabbing onto your arm, the host, which was named Kane, he looks at you. He's like, "Hey, that was impressive. You mind coming back here again? You make hell of a lot of marks here."
Maybe in another day or two. I'm gonna be in town for a while.
Well, you think on that hard, shall you? And he just pulls out a wad of cash. You can see the marks like rolled up, and he just like, while the hand he was holding onto you, he just puts the rolled up marks into your hand. Oh, so that might entice you. Hopefully, I see you again. And don't worry about that guy. You see, as he says that, you can see that they're just at this point they're just dragging him out. Like they're dragging out what's his name? Shit, I can't remember his fucking name. Tabor. Yeah, Tabor. Right now, you can see him being dragged out, like leaving a large like drag mark in the sand. And at that point, like there's just this moment where everybody just stops with the shouting and chanting from the fight, and everyone's just talking to each other, and you know, this is just this atmosphere of just a heavily busy tavern essentially at this point, as there's drinks going around, and you can see some some of the more provocative women, what they're wearing, like instead of like these long dresses, it's more of these short dresses, but they're holding onto trays, you know, going around giving out their tankards of ale. You have managed to steal the show, and it seems that you are now just an environment of a tavern.
Sparrow.
I take my money and I put it.
All right. As you, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna get a drink.
All right. As you look at the wad and just unwind it, you look upon it and you can see that you just made 250 marks.
Ooh.
As you guys partake in the festive nature within tavern.
So this entire time, I have not stopped saying Sparrow.
And then this is drunkard right next to Voxy, and he's just he like falls into you, like he can't basically keep himself up, and he's like, yeah, Sparrow, yeah, you want drink? And he's like looking at you, and he's like looking at your facial features. He's like, whoa, what is that on your face?
Sparrow.
Yeah, Sparrow. And he just walks off. Sparrow. Just drinking. So, you guys managed to spend the next 3 days accomplishing a couple of things. Most of you succeeding. And at this point, we're gonna end the session here, while the festivities are ongoing within this very shady establishment that seems to be an underground fighting pit. We're gonna be taking on the next session and following through.
To Sparrow.
The Sparrow. It fucking critted my
Sparrow.
critted my
That
pit fire.
crit. You saw that 27 damage in the first fucking swing.
Yo, yeah, she destroyed
Sure.
him. Yeah,
My
she did.
martial die went up at this level.
Yes, that is right.
Oh my god.
So it's a D6